Financial Realities is a continuation of the service we began in January titled Financial Management. While this is part two, it may not be our final discussion on finances because stewardship and financial wisdom are vast and deeply important topics for our daily lives.
This leads us to the important question. Why is it necessary for church to discuss finance? How does this benefit each individual? And why should this focus within the church? First, Scripture speaks about finance throughout the Bible, showing stewardship matters to God.
Proverbs 21 verse 5 reminds us, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Luke 16:10 through 11 teaches that faithfulness in little prepares us for greater responsibility. Ecclesiastes 10 verse 19 acknowledges that money serves practical needs in life. 1 Timothy 6 verse 10 clarifies that it is not money itself, but the love of money that is the root of all kinds of evil. We see that wise money management is important to God, and therefore it should be important to us. God does not desire his people to live in constant lack or struggle without understanding. Many misinterpret scripture and say money is evil, but money itself is simply a tool. What determines its impact is the heart and the intention of the one who holds it.
If God never intended for us to handle resources, he would never have filled the scriptures with wisdom and instructions regarding stewardship. We see God's blessing Solomon with immense wealth, yet Solomon's downfall came when his heart turned away. In contrast, Job was also blessed, and despite trials, his devotion remained anchored in God. The difference was not wealth, it was the posture of his heart. When God remains the center, owner, and the authority over the resources he entrusted to us, the financial blessings can be handled in alignment with his will.
God tells us in Hosea 4 verse 6 that his people perish for lack of knowledge. Financial knowledge is crucial because nearly every aspect of daily living involves resources. Even something as simple as a bottle of water requires money. How we earn, manage, save, and spend matters. Learning these principles within the house of God is vital. In his presence, wisdom is guided by truth rather than worldly pressures that can lead us astray. Members of the church should not remain in cycles of lack without understanding or growth. Where God's presence is, there is freedom, healing, and deliverance, including in our financial lives. Our desire is not for people to continually give from emptiness while remaining in struggle. A thriving church is made up of thriving people because you are the church. When one struggles, we all feel it. Therefore, financial education becomes an act of care, unity, and empowerment. God will not call you into his house without equipping you. He places opportunities before you, but it is your responsibility to steward them with the wisdom, strength, and discernment he provides. As the people of God grow and thrive, we are better able to fulfill the mission he has given us. There are many more reasons this conversation is important, but for today we will leave it here. Everyone carries dreams and plans for their future, yet your Father in heaven holds even greater ones for you. So let us come together, learning, growing, and applying financial wisdom as we walk towards freedom, stewardship, and purpose.
When I often speak about freedom, about how God has broken our chains, when we sing songs declaring, I am no longer a slave, I am a child of God, we talk about being freed from fear, freed from sin, freed from bondage, but one formed in bondage we don't discuss enough is financial bondage. Being a slave to money, systems, and cycles that keep us in survival. Many people find themselves trapped in a robotic lifestyle, working endlessly just to get by, working only to make it to the next day, with little peace, little rest, and little freedom. That was never God's intention for us people. While working in a honorable bondage is not. This is why financial intelligence and stewardship matters. Because wisdom creates options and options create freedom. So as we enter this service, I encourage you to listen with intention and open heart. Take this moment to seriously, not just as information, but as instructions for your life. Most importantly, do not let what you hear remain in your notes. Apply it and let it shape your decisions, your habits, and your future.
Because true freedom is not only spiritual, because true freedom is not only spiritual, it is also reflected in how we live, how we steward, and how we walk in the wisdom God provides.
When we hear the word save, what do you think you should be saved for?
Anything that just comes up, like just in case. I know it's a better saying for just in case, but like basically like just in case, anything comes up, we could say the obvious things like a car, house, marriage, whatever, but like really it's like, bro, like you just never know for us. So yeah, it's really like just in case. Saving for unexpected situations is both wise and necessary. While we may not know when an emergency will arise, preparing ahead of time positions us to respond with stability rather than panic. It is always better to be prepared than to be caught off guard.
Emergencies can come in many forms, including medical or car repairs, medical or hospital visits, parenting and child care needs, family or partner care, natural disasters, sudden life changes, or urgent responsibilities.
Building an emergency fund is an act of wisdom, stewardship, and self-care. It provides peace of mind and protects you from falling into unnecessary debt when life's uncertainties occur.
Example scenario: Carly Mike have been married for 5 years. They own a home and two vehicles. Unfortunately, Mike had an accident which caused him to be bedridden for a year. Mike can no longer work. What happens now to their bills?
To like check on our savings to see if like we have like if we have to see if we got the money for the bills that we saved up, so we don't have to worry about the problems that we have.
Mike is bedridden for a year. They've been together for 5 years. That means they like obviously saved up money for like at least 5 years. Yeah, should have saved up money for 5 years. And they have two cars. That means they already have the money to pay off pay the cars off. So, and they have a home. Their bills change. It's just that Carla might have to pay more bills than Mike.
I mean, I think I agree with Chad. I mean, even though they're married, they become one, so I guess their money becomes, joint. But it was still a two income household, so now it becomes a one. So I mean, it becomes less money moving into the house. So bills could maybe get hard. I don't know how much they're making, but there are variables to it.
They already have money. They already had money to pay off pay the cars off because of how long they've been saving up for money. So since that Mike went bedridden for a year and no longer has a job, it doesn't really mean the bills are gonna change. It just that means Carla's gonna pay more bills because she has a job. Carla must continue working to support both herself and her husband Mike. Having an emergency fund savings account helps for an unfortunate event like this. Of course, they can receive assistance from their insurance company and other programs from the state and country, but there will still be need for out-of-pocket fees. If the couple was smart in savings, then this will help them not to fall behind with their bills. Scenario 2. Jeffrey works at Publix 15 minutes from his house. Unfortunately, he ran over something which caused a flat tire. Something sharp punctured through two of his tires, leading to needing replacement. Jeffrey has not been saving. What happens now?
I don't know if that makes sense, but if he hasn't been saving, I would say that I hope he has two spare tires, jacking and everything, because If he does, I'll be all right.
Like what Mike is trying to say, like he's hoping that Jeffrey has at least spare tires in the back. So like basically, obviously we know he's gonna have at least one in the back, or not if he already used it. If he already has one, it's already cooked, so there's no point in using it. So that's when you call a tow truck to go. Got no money. He has no.
He should have insurance.
He should have insurance.
Should have insurance.
Should have insurance. That's when he called the tow truck and go there. Make sure he called one of his friends or family to know tell them about the situation so that they know they're informed too. So just in case if he can't get back home, he has a ride, or he might take the bus. So yeah.
If Jeffrey hasn't been saving and he got a puncture on his tire, is it 2 tires or 1 tire? 2 of his or 2 of his. All right. I would say, if I'm being honest, sometimes when people have bad money management skills, whenever they have leverage, they blow that leverage because they don't have. They feel like that leverage that I have is an opportunity for me to not worry about saving for that, like, as an emergency. Like if you work 15 minutes from your house, I know you're not gonna worry about gas. And like I was saying with the insurance, hopefully he had a good insurance, and then he towed a car to his house, and then just walk. And then when he's ready to, get it fixed, maybe after a week of paycheck.
Most likely, Jeffrey will have to use whatever he has currently on his account, like I said. And since he was not saving, this will most likely affect him, causing him delay in other payments. He may have to going on, causing him to enter the almost never-ending loop of living from paycheck to paycheck. Other reasons you should save besides emergencies: house ownership, vehicle purchases, investment opportunities, parenthood, education, travel and leisure, and donation.
If owning a home is one of your goals, the best time to begin preparing is now. How early should you start? Simply put, the earlier, the better. Even beginning at 19 or in your early 20s puts you in a powerful position for your future.
What age do y'all personally think that you should start saving?
Honestly, whenever you get your first job,
17,
if that's your goal, because house ownership or being a house buyer is a pretty big thing, especially in today's housing market.
Primary goal is car, then wife, and then apartment.
I'm gonna start with you. You said that saving right now is not a priority for you because you're gonna be living with your parents for a good minute. Wouldn't it be smart to save while you're living with your parents, to use that, has leverage?
I'm talking about as of right now.
Yeah.
As I'm 16, like I said.
Because you said your age is 17, before you start saving.
17.
And you have a job.
Yeah, 16.
You're gonna turn 17 soon. So should you start thinking about your saving plan?
That's what I'm trying to say. Once I turn 17.
But aren't you starting a job at 16?
Look, you're not understanding.
Okay.
Once I turn 17, I'm a junior. I'm basically on the road being a college student, already about to graduate, and I'm already thinking about my next life choices. Once I'm 17, that's when I start thinking I can't just be spending stuff on dumb stuff. That's when I gotta know I have to
I'm gonna cut you there. Why have all that knowledge, but you're waiting for a number 17? Why don't you use the knowledge today? Why wait for 17? What's the special about 17?
It's not like I don't know the knowledge.
I said you know it. Why don't you apply it today? Why wait for 17?
Because this is what age do you think that you this is what age do you think? It's not right now.
But I think I'm challenging your answer because it doesn't make sense.
My answer is valid. Like I said,
it's not valid.
I said you are a junior.
You haven't answered my question.
You are a junior in you are a junior in high school.
Yeah.
You're on the verge of being a senior to graduate and a college student.
So are you saying that you have too much on your plate to be thinking about house ownership? Is that what you're saying?
As of right now?
Yeah.
No. That's what I'm saying. When you turn 17, that's when you have too much on your plate. But when you're when you're eight,
Right, Didi?
when you're
Right?
six,
Not even crazy.
Right?
Not even
You
crazy.
lost
Not even
you.
crazy. Not even
when
crazy.
you're 16, what are you worrying about besides eating and surviving?
Well, it's first of all, it's not a worry if you start early, and it's not like you saving $200,000, whatever. Even $10 here, $10 there. It's like you saving towards your future. You understand what I mean?
Okay. Like I said, I'm not spending crazy amount of money. I'm just saying I'm not gonna be spending on the stuff I would be spending now as I'm 16 and 17 and plus. That's what I'm trying to say. As of right now, as I'm 16, I'm not spending crazy stuff, but there's like certain things here and there I might buy.
He's basically saying that I'm challenging his answer of him saying that his priority is not like saving for a house right now, which I a little bit understand.
17,
He's
17.
saying that when he turns 17, then he could start thinking about his future more. But right now he's 16. I'm like, if you have this knowledge, why wait for the number 17 for you to apply the knowledge that you already have? What's so special about 17?
I just told her
He
why.
was saying
I just
that
told her
being
why.
a junior in high school, he has a lot of responsibilities, focusing about becoming a senior and becoming a college student. So he can't have all this other worry on him. And I'm also challenging his answer because he also said his priority eventually will be getting a car. In this order, getting a car, a wife, and an apartment. So I haven't got to that part yet, but I'm challenging that answer as well because personally to me it does not make sense. But back to the number one answer that I'm challenging, right? So the whole thing about you being a junior and preparing for college and so forth. So you feel like there's no room for you to think about a saving plans for your future?
I never said that.
You that busy?
I never said that. You're putting words in my mouth. I never said that.
Okay, so where does your saving plans come in when it comes to you being a junior, senior, or college student?
Like, are you talking about when do I start saving or when do I start saving?
Are you saving now? Let me ask you that.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saving for a house, but I'm saving.
Okay,
There's-
and right now you're
two different
saving
things, two different
towards, I'm guessing, like a car. Because that's your first priority.
Like I said,
Just in general.
I'm saving money. But I'm not saving money. If you
Okay,
understand.
so you're saving money, but you're not serious with the saving money. Like, you're not...
Yeah, I'm saying. I'm not saving money for
I'm
the
not
house.
asking for the house. I'm asking in general.
I'm saying. Because like, look. It's like okay. Look. It's like, cause like no.
You gotta think about it, bro. Look,
I can't talk.
I gotta let him answer.
I can't talk. I can't.
Bro, like
I'm
when you
about to
say
give the best
any
example
type
ever.
of saving, bro, you just saving. That's a good thing. Like, bro, it don't matter if it's like snacks, bro. Shoot, bro, chips, McDonald's, bro.
I don't buy none of those things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, bro, just it's a good saving, bro. Like, think about it. You probably think one day, like, dang, like,
I don't
wish
remember the last
saved,
time I bought chips.
$5. I wish I saved that $5 just to like, buy it, because my mom said no to me or my dad said no to me, something like that, or my siblings. I'm not saying like that's you, but like for example, like that's something I've been through. Like everybody say no, I'm just like, dang, like I wish I saved that $5 the other week past. So it's like any type of savings, bro.
Mhm.
I mean, though it may seem like just little, like bro, it's good, bro. It's like, yeah.
Okay, so now back to what I was trying to say. So this is the best terminology example ever. So like, look, say like you okay, so like you know how you have to be 15 to get your permit, right? That's like if you apply for your permit at 13, knowing dang well you gotta be 15 to apply for the permit. So why would I start at 13 when I could be starting at 14 to start applying for the permit? It makes sense. It makes sense.
You could start saving as early as possible. Like your parents could even start saving for you, bro. I feel like it's two different things. So
It makes sense. Like it's all about the timing.
no, but he's saying he's saying he knows what to do. He knows how to do it. He just won't start until next year.
Right, exactly. Which makes no sense.
He just said what I just trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm seeing.
I agree with Chad. I'm not gonna lie. I agree with Chad.
Makes
Cause
sense.
like Chad is saying he will save. He just won't start saving for the house until he's 17.
I'm seeing. Cause like, why am I savers is something I'm not able to get unless I'm the proper age? Why would I want to leave on the table, house on my head, free electricity. Am I leaving?
But the point
Leave.
is, we're not saying for you to leave, but when it's time for you to actually leave, money's not gonna spawn out of nowhere.
I'm not
You're
saying that.
you're gonna need money that was already there that's accumulating over
That's
time.
what I said. I'm
So it's like-
saving, but I'm not spending. And I know when to and then when it's time to save, I won't spend.
Steven, come back.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Bruh.
I'm saving, but I'm not spending. And then when it's time
Them boys
to
just
when
want
it's
you to
time
save
when it's
now,
time
bruh.
to
They
spend,
want you to
I mean
save
when it's
now.
time to save, I'm not gonna be spending.
All right.
It makes
All right. So, people in the chat, people in the chat, comment down below.
our fellow Blameless Millers,
please.
Blameless members online. Mike has something to say.
Please help Chad. Please
Don't help me,
to tell
please.
him.
I am begging you, please don't help me.
I'm begging you to help him to get the knowledge
They're
that he
only
needs for the
against
future.
This is what happens when the older generation don't want to listen to the newer generation. This makes sense. It's not clocking to them. It's not clocking to them. So like, look, what I'm trying to say makes sense within my mind, but it doesn't make sense to them. So that's why they think it's my question wrong. So like that, I'm gonna leave it at that. No. Let me say how they want to be said. I should start saving now for a house and everything, cause I have a job at 16.
All right. So I just have to say, and I'll leave Steven your seat for you. I do think it's important when that you stay if you're living at your parents' house, that you stay at your parents' house as long as you can until you're married. I feel like that makes sense. Unless for whatever reason you have to move out, whatever. But that does not mean while you're at your parents' house for you to just be taking off from them. You have to start building for yourself as well. And I'll say this even for my future children. Like, while they're at my house, when they're of age, they're working, they have to save so that they can eventually have their own. Because what's your parents, that's for your parents. You got to mix a life for yourself as well. So it's like,
Is that not what I said?
am I talking to you? I'm talking to the general population.
My fault.
Right, exactly.
Give me back to the question. What age?
So, mine would be 19. But I do feel like everyone is different. If you are even younger than 19, you have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, and you have the capability and capacity, and you have the income. Why not? So, for someone who's 16, for someone who's 17, 18, if you're working and you can, why not? And like, I will start to train my kids, like, at young age, 16, 15, and be like, put $1 aside. Yeah, to you, it's just $1, but $1 equals more every day when you start adding it up. If they put $1 aside every day for 1 year, guess how much they have at the end of the year? Exactly. So $1 may seem small. It don't matter the amount. I just want them to learn how to save every day. Yes. So like, that's basically, I just want them to learn the knowledge of saving, how to save, how to not have the bad greedy habits of take, spend. So that helps them. And then eventually when they're older, you have more knowledge and more wisdom. They can be like, hey, let's start thinking about your future. Do you want a home? Not everybody have the desire to own a home. Some people actually would just want to live on, renting, being in an apartment. Nowadays, the thing people are doing now is living on cruises or living in hotels. That's, some people don't want to own a house. Yeah, RVs and so on and so forth. But if you are someone in this room and your desire is to own a property, your own property one day and have a house, and you are, capable, like I said, you have the knowledge, you have the income, you have the wisdom, then I think you should start now. And that goes for everybody.
With Schadrac, you were saying no, because I have talked to somebody before, and I just wanted to see. So you were saying about like you're not ready to save for a house, right?
I'm 16. Okay, so I'm ready, but I'm okay. I'm saving, but I'm still gonna spend. Once I turn 17, I'm gonna be saving, but I'm not gonna be spending. And then I'm gonna stay with my parents so that I have enough money built up. And then once I have enough money built up, I'm gonna start searching for a wife. Once I gain a wife, we're gonna look for a place together, and we're gonna go.
All right. Oh, so this is the only thing. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying.
Did I not just say I'm saving money at my parents' house? This is rage bait. This is rage bait. You know, rage baiting is a sin, right? Rage baiting is a sin.
The only thing, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is that with the fact that you mentioned in like a relationship, and because of that, then what you're saying is gonna be involved with you doing research on something, like, you know, even if you don't, for yourself as a single man, you don't wanna, you feel like you're okay with what you're saying, but the fact that you mentioned in another partner, you have to gain knowledge, like maybe their needs. Yeah. So she made one a home. You want an apartment, but she made one a home. So
I
now
said apartment as of this question. I never said I automatically want to go to an apartment.
so that's what I'm saying. So with this, yeah.
I just said it just to say it. That doesn't mean I automatically.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So with what I was hearing is that, so based on what I was hearing and with saying that, for the purpose of the video, like people who's gonna watch it. So now, like, it's best, even if you're not trying to save for a house, it's always best that, because you mentioned in a relationship, it's always best to do research, even if you're not trying to save for the house, but do research on like where,
The price,
how much, like you could do it with just your dad's house.
Yeah.
Let's just say in 1995, if that house was already built, how much was it? And based on that calculation, it'll tell you, if you smart, you know that, you know, let's just say that house was being sold for $25, and your dad bought it at the time in 2010 for $50.
Yeah.
You already know in 2030 it may cost $200 or maybe $300.
Yeah.
And it's gonna keep going and up. So because of that when you do it like that, it forces you to be like, all right, you know what? I'm not trying to specifically save for a house, but let me just save in general, which I agree with you as far as that part. You know, just save in general so that when times comes in the future, I'm able to, like, you know, have enough money for that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what I was saying, for the purpose of the video, based on, like you saying, with the relationship thing, you know, for the people that's out there who's like, you know, thinking that, let's just say if I'm 15, I feel like I don't have to worry about saving for a house until maybe I'm 18. Just do that simple calculation, like, you know, of what I just said, like from the 19 or whatever back then to now, and then with your dad. You also, if you live at your parents' house, never automatically think that just because they paying the bills, they making sure you fed, that they good. They can have a house, but they can't pay the bills. They're not gonna let you know that.
Doesn't automatically mean like you're not at least helping them.
No. That's not what I'm saying. So I'm saying, again, just like you did the calculation as far as like with what you see as far as a market in 1995. Let's just your dad's house example, right? In 1995 to 2010 and then 2030, right? You did that calculation to give you an idea of like where time is gonna go, so you could prepare yourself. So that what you save in, maybe like, you know, it forces you to save a little bit more and be more, you know, better with your money savings. So it puts you like, you know, in a reality check. So that's as far as that. So if you think, like you were saying, like, you know, I live at my parents' house and stuff like that, that's a good thing. You do that. You should always want to do that if you have that leverage. So if you can't do that calculation of like the example of the 1995 to 2010, use your parents as an example. Like, look at their situation. If they doing 2 jobs, you already know, but that, you know, there's a chance where one job is not going to be enough in order to pay for the bills. And you don't want to put yourself in that predicament. So now you know that, okay, I'm saving here, but I have to watch out too so I don't become like that by the time I get to their age, or maybe closer to their age, you know? So you prepare yourself as far as like, you know, with the job that you have, you save in the savings so you don't become like that, you know? So don't just oblivious where I'm just going to live at their house, but learn from their situation. However much they paying for roofs or whatever and stuff like that, you know, because of her wife, if she wants that, you're gonna have to like, be involved with a roof just like your dad is. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Not necessarily entering you, but use your example, because you're not the only person that says what you said. I talked to people before, so I just wanted to say that on camera and stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know. You kept saying, I pick up something. You kept saying, Chad, how right now you're saving but you're spending, but eventually when you get older you're gonna not spend so you could save. But my thing is, who said that you can't save and spend?
Are you
why,
twisting words?
like you just went, like, why did you say when you're older then you're not gonna spend? Why? What makes you think that that's okay?
I say this because you going through a teenager's mind, right? Thinking of at 16, you're 16, you're on the verge, you're in the middle, like you dang, you're the proper age, you have a job, you gotta be saving for your future, all that, right? But you're also 16. That means you also gotta live the last few years of a kid in your mind. You gotta also live the last few years of 16 in your mind. So that's why you say when you turn 17, everything gotta switch. You can't play no games no more. You gotta lock in, graduate, and start thinking about your future car, your house.
But why are you making it sound like the 20s is miserable? Like you can't have fun.
I never said that, bro. I just said you gotta lock in.
You gotta enjoy your being a kid and whatever.
I'm talking about as a little kid. I never said there's no problem being 21. Just still live your life.
21. That's where it stops, y'all. After 21, you can't live your life, man.
Isn't 21 when you start legal age? I'm saying like
21 is for drinking.
18 like you there, but you're not there yet.
Okay, let me just ask my final question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a house one day?
Yeah.
How many bedroom would you like?
I don't care.
No, just say a number.
I mean, nothing crazy. Like probably like really maximum is 3. But if I had 4, I'll take 4. Why I might need the extra rooms?
Okay, 3 bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think 3 bedroom costs nowadays?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, take a guess. A wild guess.
Are you thinking like houses?
A house.
Like those townhouses.
A house or townhouse. It don't matter. How much do you think
A regular house?
a regular single family house or a townhouse costs for a 3 bedroom?
It's between 300 to 500.
Yeah, it's between 300, really high 300s, really 400, $500,000 is how much it costs. Do you think the average person makes that a year?
No.
That's all I had to say.
What?
I think what she's saying is that it's not about the 30-year, 50-year mark that the bank said. No, don't worry about it. You have time to pay it off. It's not about that. It's about like I was telling using Shadrac's example to the camera, is that you don't want to think like that, because it's gonna put you in a mindset just like the Jeffrey dude, where 15 minutes going to work, that means you have like if you budget in good, you work 15 minutes away from your house. That means you should be able to save on gas at least, So instead of spending that gas money, you put it aside because it's a leverage. But most people don't think like that. Most people think, I have 15 minutes to get to my job. That means half of the money I'm saving from gas, that's for me to spend and splurge on myself. You don't want to think like that. So the system, again, like says, you have 50 years, don't worry about it right now. But when that 50-year mark comes, you might not even be able to pay for that house. If you didn't have money management skills, you got to know when you get that loan, that house is already theirs. half of that, let's just say within 30 years, you did, you make half of the total payment. In 15 years, you have another 15 coming up. In 16, you mess up, you can't pay it, they'll take it back. And it's as if you wasn't making the payments for that 15 years that you've been making payments for. So you lost, you get what I'm saying? And guess what? That amount of money that they sold that house to you for, when you bought it 15 years ago, it increases 2 times over. So they didn't lose nothing, you lost, you know? Something that could have been yours if you kept making payments for that 30 year, you cut short by not having good money skills, which they're not going to tell you. They just say you have 30 years, you know, to put you under a plinth because they're not going to lose at all. It's up to you to do that calculation and be like, all right, okay, even if they say I have 30 years, I have to see for myself if that's going to be good for me, because it's easy for them to say that I have 30 years because they're not going to pay for it. I'm the one that's going to be under that loan, you know, to say if I'm going to pay for it. So that number that she was saying based on, like, you know, the price, which is something that I wish I thought about. And I do, the people that I do talk to is like, they're around like your age, Steven and stuff like that. And I do, that's the mindset in a way where, you know, where you think, okay, all right, let me enjoy my young life. You want to do that, like you're saying, you want to do that. I don't want you to be worried about, you know, buying a house, because I feel like at that age, you want to be a little bit like, you know, live your life. But that calculation that I said, as far as like, if you live with your parents, do that calculation. If you don't live with your parents, just pick a random house, like Tracy was saying, that 4-bedroom you were saying, 3 or whatever. Just do a research. Pick a random house on Zillow. Just do that research. Research purposes only. Check how much it is in 2025 and check how much it was in 1995. If it went up drastically from 1995 to 2025, yeah, by the time you able to buy one. So now it just put you in a position. I'm not saving for a house, but I know times gets harder as I grow up. So whatever money I'm saving now, I just save so that when that time comes, I'm able to, like, you know, afford something and not worried about when I get there, you know, based on just credit. Because even if you don't make the money, like, I don't know if you know, but let's just say you buying a mic, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to make 6 payments on it. And then you get in like 6 payments of like $100 in a month.
Yeah.
Right? That's $600 within 6 months.
Yeah.
You can't pay it total. So they say, all right, you know what? You can make $100 payment every month. But in a month, you get like 120 from your whole checks for the month from your job. Guess what? If they ran your credit, they would say, oh, you qualify. But realistically, you not qualify. Why? Because if you make 120, bro, you don't have enough, because you got to think about your expenses, car. You got to think about your phone bill. Your 20 going out of that, you know, out of that 100, and you got to pay that 100. So they would tell you with Steven, the 30-year mark, they would look at your bank statements and say, oh yeah, you make 120, you could pay for that house. A house that's gonna cost $100, not including expenses and everything. They would say you qualify, but they know it's a trap that you not qualify for, but they would still let you pay for it. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Your early 20s can pass quickly. While it's important to enjoy your youth and embrace life experiences, that doesn't mean neglecting preparation for the future God is leading you into. Wise planning today creates stability, peace, and opportunity tomorrow. Do not wait until your mid or late 20s to start thinking about your 30s and 40s. Likewise, do not wait until your 30s to begin preparing for your 40s through 60s. Each stage of life benefits from the seeds planted in the previous one. Saving early allows time, discipline, and consistency to work in your favor, making goals like home ownership feel attainable rather than overwhelming. The future you desire begins with the decisions you make today.
Because the service is now focused on home buying specifically, we won't spend too much time here. However, it is important to understand the few foundational principles and processes of home ownership.
One key factor is your credit score. Generally, you should aim to maintain a credit score of 640 or higher, but preferably much higher. A 640 is often considered the minimum threshold for many lenders, but it is borderline. Think of it as a C+ in school. You passed, but now with strong marks. A higher score places you better in in a better position for approval and more favorable terms.
Why is good credit score important?
Good credit score is important because if anytime you try to say like you try to get a car and you go to the dealership, the first thing they're gonna check on is your credit. So if they see you got a good credit score, that means you can probably you can get that car. You get any car you want. But if you do not got good credit, you're probably gonna get the lesser car that you don't want. So the thing is that we should have, yeah, maybe get one at all. But so the thing is about it is we should think about it now to to have good credit, a good future for the credit that we're doing right now. So we think about it. Yeah.
I agree with Mike, but to an extent, I feel like having a good credit score is good, but I mean a good credit score is only good when you're borrowing. I feel like it only shows how good of a borrower you are, because I mean, for Mike's dealership situation, you could always walk into a dealership and buy a car cash. So, like, if you have it, you wouldn't, credit score wouldn't even matter in that scenario. But I feel like good credit is important for when you need to borrow. For example, like a mortgage or I guess like a car loan. Yeah, in that case.
Like Mike and Steve said, but I completely agree with what they said. But like, I'm gonna think like try to like describe this whole thing within simple terms. So like, you know how when you have like bad grades in school, right? Like bad grades in school, in order to be able to like, if you were to want to take good classes to get into good colleges and stuff, they will look at your grades to see if the classes are good for you, like your counselors. And if your bad grades are not good, I mean, if you have too many bad grades, that's not good, and they're not be able to approve you to go to the better classes. And also, and if you like, so like say like the SAT scores, right? And you get low scores, you're not able to get into those good colleges that you may want to go to. But that doesn't mean you're not be able to go into college. It just that means you're not going to be able to get the ones that you want, like the good ones that you want.
So you were saying like you feel like credit is only for when you need to borrow. Actually, that's not true. Credit is not only for when you need to borrow. That's what a lot of people know it has. But I feel like we need to expand our knowledge when it comes to credit, right? People who are very wealthy use credit a lot, not because they need to borrow, because they have the liquid, they have the cash, but they do it because they want to build trust. Credit could be used as to build good rapport. Like for example, for a business to build capital, you need people to know that they can trust you. You need partners to know that they could trust you. You need the bank to know that they could trust you. You need to you need like I said, partners to know that they could trust you, and so on. And it's a way to build rapport for your business. It's a way to build rapport for yourself. So what keeps someone wealthy is when you're not constantly giving out your money. If you're constantly spending your money, then eventually it's gonna go out. So a lot of wealthy people, they don't get loans or they borrow money because they need it, but they do it because it's a smart money strategic move. You have the money, but you don't want to constantly be giving it out. So what you do is you take it from someone else and you pay them back little by little, because you don't want to give yours in a big lump sum. A lot of wealthy people, they don't buy all their properties cash. Some may, but they don't buy all their properties cash because that's a lot of money to give all at once. Now you're shorter than what you used to have. Let's say if you are a millionaire, you only have one. You're not a multimillionaire. You're just a millionaire, and you go and buy a property for $500,000. Now you're no longer a millionaire. Why would I do that? I wouldn't go and buy a property cash for $500,000. Now I'm no longer a millionaire because I just bought it cash for $500,000. Instead, I would borrow $500,000 and I would buy that property with that loan, and then I would pay it off little by little while I'm building trust. I'm building a rapport, and I'm still remaining with my status of being a millionaire. You understand what I mean? So it's not only for borrowing, it's also for building trust, for using it as a smart money strategy move, and also to building trust as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say to what Tracy was saying. The difference, like with which I agree. I understand what Steven was saying. Like from a middle class person, like you can't afford. You don't. Let's just say you buying a place for 20,000. You can't afford to make. You don't have 20,000 on your account, right? So with the credit, if you make you make good money from your job, you're able to finance that. You know what I mean? So with as far as that, like with Steven, now with Tracy, um, see with the credit thing, it is good. Like Tracy was saying, like how rich people use it, um, because they're able to get the thing cash instead of getting the cash, they finance it. So now the difference between like a normal person and then like a rich person that have the money but they willingly finance the thing. It don't matter how much their interest is. Let's just say on a 10-year loan, your interest could go 5% over that amount that you owe. If you buy something for 10,000, maybe the interest could equal to like, let's just say 15,000. So you paying 5,000 on the entrance. So the difference between a normal person and a rich person is that sometimes they don't let it ride out to that 10-year mark. They let it go to 5. And then they don't worry about the principal, because whenever they ready to get out of that loan, that thing that they owe, they could just pay it cash and not have to worry about the paying entrance. Because the longer you borrowing from somebody, the more you pay interest on the thing. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean by interest. So that's the difference between rich people. If the thing is good, they don't like, they do it, they finance it, but they also worried about the interest, because it's not fair. If I could buy the thing cash and avoid interest on a $10,000 thing, why would I pay 15 instead of 10? You know what I mean? So because of the $5,000 entrance, for the 10-year mark, I might cut it down to 5 and pay it off in 5. Because I'm doing it on purpose anyways. I'm not trying to, finance the thing because I don't have it. I'm financing it because either I have a plan for, that money that I could have bought the thing cash for. Maybe next year I have to invest in something bigger. You know what I mean? So, and if that thing works out, they're not gonna hold that thing that they financed for like 30 years at all. They probably gonna hold it for like 5 years. 5 to 10 years. They're not gonna hold it for long at all. So that's the difference between like the credit of like the rich folks and then like the normal people. So I just wanted to say that.
Your credit score reflects your financial reputation. It tells lenders how responsible and reliable you are with borrowed money. A strong score can increase your chances of loan approval, lower your interest rate, reduce your monthly payment, give you access to better loan programs, save you thousands of dollars over time. Simply put, a good credit score opens doors and saves money, while a poor one limits options and increases costs. What is interest? Interest is the cost of borrowing money. When a lender gives you a loan, they charge you interest as their profit for allowing you to use their money. For example, if you borrow $200,000 for your home, you will not only repay $200,000, you will also pay additional money in interest over time. The interest rate determines how much extra you will pay. A higher credit score usually leads to a lower interest rate, which means lower monthly payments, less money paid over the life of the loan. A lower credit score often results in a higher interest rate, meaning higher monthly payments, more money paid over time, greater financial pressure. In simple terms, your credit score influences your interest rate, and your interest rate influences how much you ultimately pay.
This is why building credit wisely and understanding interest is crucial. This concept doesn't just affect home ownership. They impact cars, credit cards, business funding, and many other financial opportunities. How can you build your credit score? I remember it was like, I think 2 people talk about it. It was Christelle and Eddie, and then Winderson. I'm right. So like they said, like if you use deposits the money off the credit card, and then you every time you spend that money and then you pay it back, they'll like you build up your credit score over time.
Building credit is a process that takes time, discipline, and consistency. It doesn't happen overnight, but with small intentional steps, you can establish a strong financial relationship or reputation.
Number one, start with a beginner-friendly credit lines for beginners. A wise start with accessible and manageable credit cards such as secure cards or starter cards, for example, Self, Capital One, etc. This key is not the size of the limit, but your ability to manage the responsibility. Grow gradually. By your second year, you may consider adding a second credit line with a slightly higher limit. This helps diversify your credit profile. However, remember that credit cards build credit in baby steps. They are a foundational tool, not instant score boosters. Avoid retail stores, credit traps. Be cautious with your retail store credit cards. These often come with high interest and rates and can tempt overspending. Maxing them out is a common path towards debit collection and damaged credit.
Practice responsible use. Financial Practice responsible use. Financial responsibility is the most important factor in building credit. Always pay on time. Avoid maxing out your limit, and keep balances low. Late payments and delinquency can quickly undo progress you've worked hard to build. Add an installment loan for growth if you want to see more significant boost after years. Adding an installment loan can help. This could be a car loan if necessary, a small personal loan, or financing for a meaningful need. The purpose is not to take on debt unnecessarily, but to responsibly manage a different type of credit. Set realistic score goals. In your 20s, aim for a credit score of at least 650 as a solid foundation, but by your 30s, strive for 670 or higher. Position yourself for stronger financial opportunities and lower borrowing costs.
Building credit is ultimately about trust, showing leaders that you can handle responsibility with wisdom and discipline. The goal is not just high score, but financial habits to support sustainability, freedom, and long-term success.
Take responsibility for what you owe. In today's world, many people are encouraged to rely on so-called credit gurus who promise to fix, boost, or clean their credit for a monthly fee. While there may be legitimate services in some cases, the truth is simple. If you owe money, the most powerful step you can take to address the debt directly. The Bible encourages integrity and responsibility in this area. Romans 13 verse 8 reminds us, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. Psalm 37 verse 21 says, the wicked borrow and do not repay, but the righteous give generously.
These scriptures highlight that honoring our obligations is part of our righteous living and a financial stewardship. Instead of avoiding calls or feeling overwhelmed, reach out to a creditor or a collection agency. Many companies are willing to work with you through a payment plan or settlements. Communication often opens doors that silence keeps closed.
Example 1. Settlement outcome. Kimberly took out a personal loan of $1,500 to purchase a laptop so she could work from home. She intended to repay it once she began working, but after only 3 months she lost her job and struggled to keep up with multiple bills. The loan eventually went out to collections, and with late fees and time grew to $2,500. Years later, Kimberly contacted the collections agency and negotiated a settlement, ultimately paying $500 to resolve the debt. While the journey was difficult, taking initiative allowed her to move forward. Because of this, Kimberly's credit score went up 20 points. Example 2, payment plan outcome. Marcelo had a car with only $1,250 remaining when COVID-19 impacted his employment. Unable to continue payments during the shutdown, the account went to collections. Later, he attempted to settle the debt for $300, but the agency declined and required at least 800. Although he didn't receive the settlement he hoped for, Marcelo chose responsibility and arranged a payment plan for $800, allowing him to resolve the debt over time.
Every situation may look different. Some debts may settle for less, while others require structured repayment. The important principle is taking ownership, communicating, and working towards a resolution. Avoiding prolonged stress, but responsibility creates progression. Paying what you owe not only improves your financial standings, but it also aligns with the integrity, peace of your mind, and your stewardship. This is one of the biggest purchases you will ever make in your life. So here's some tips. 1. Set a clear saving goal. Research average home prices in your area and estimate a realistic down payments. Often 3 to 20%. Having a clear number gives you a saving direction and motivation.
Create a dedicated house fund. Open a separate savings account strictly for your future home. Keeping it separate prevents accidental spending and helps you visually track progress.
3. Automate your savings. Treat your house savings like a bill. Set up a automatic transfer weekly or monthly so you save consistently without relying on motivation.
4. Reduce unnecessary spending. Small changes matter. Eating out less, limiting impulse purchases, and managing subscriptions can free up money that can go directly towards your home fund. Increase your income when possible. Side hustles, freelance work, overtime, or monetizing skills can accelerate your savings timeline and help you reach your goal faster. You should not be at the same pay range every year. Just like your age change and you grow, so should your income and pockets. Get comfortable with asking for raises, promotions, or switching job fields if necessary.
6. Build protect your credit, and strong credit score can lower your interest and rate and monthly payments. Pay bills on time, keep credit use low, and avoid unnecessary debt.
Save more than the down payment. Remember additional costs like closing fees, inspections, moving expenses, furniture, and emergency repairs. Preparing for these prevents financial strain after purchase. Learn about first-time buyers programs. Many states and lenders offer grants, assistance programs, and low down payment options. Education can open doors you didn't know existed. Tracy knows a good and vetted program. If you're ready and interested, see her for more information.
9. Stay consistent. Not perfect. You may not save large amount every month, and that's okay. Consistency matters more than perfection. Small, faithful deposits leading to big outcomes over time. Let's look at the income growth guideline by age range. This is for approximate range for direction, not pressure. Income growth guideline by age range: 15 to 19. Exposure and experience. Suggested annual income range: 0 to 15,000, 20 to 25 entry levels, and skill building.
20 to 45,000, 25 to 30 career growth and stability should be suggested annual range should be 40 to 70,000. From ages 30 to 35, that's your advancement and asset building. Suggested range for annual income should be 60 to 90,000. 30 to 35 to 40 age range is leadership and wealth positioning. A suggested annual range should be 75 to 120,000.
40 plus with wealthy maintenance and legacy. 90K plus and varies.
This is not a comparison chart. It is a progression mindset chart. Some will exceed these ranges earlier. Others will take different paths. Purpose, calling, entrepreneurship, and life transitions affect income. The goal is growth, stewardship, and stability, not pressure or shame. The goal is not to chase numbers, but to see growth with time. Each stage of life should build on the previous one so that we are moving towards stability, freedom, and legacy.
I've learned to like understand how to build credit and to understand to not worry about what is out here, to just worry about what you need in your life so you can stay consistent for the needs that you need in the future.
I learned that it doesn't matter how or when you save, just as long as you saving, that's all that matters. Second, your credit score matters no matter what. It don't matter. It is not something that should be played with, but it's not something to be taken lightly. And also, depending on your age, there's certain amount of money you should be making, and and if it's not at that specific job that you're making that amount of money, you gotta change jobs. As growing, as we grow in age, our goal is to shift from survival and stewardship, less money and consumed by living expenses, and more money build sustainable investments and legacy. So let's set a personal challenge for ourselves for this year. You're ready? If you're working and willing, let's aim to save the below amount by the end of December based on your age range. If you're 15 to 19, 3,000. If you're 20 to 23, 5,000. If you're 24 to 26, 7,000. If you're 27 to 30, 10,000. If you're 31 to 35, 15,000. If you're 35 to 40, 20,000 and 42. I'm on the verge.
I'm shooting for 40 plus.
Next question.
Next
slide. Next slide. Next slide.
I want
next
this on
slide,
video.
Next slide. Next slide.
Yeah.
Next slide.
By December, if it's attainable,
Next slide.
we're all going on a random Friday. No, on a random Saturday. I'll call everybody and be like, "Where we going out to eat?" And that's it. Yeah, exactly. This is recorded. Also, it's also my home screen actually.
Steven,
I don't know,
St.
Friendly,
Louis,
I don't know if you want to zoom in.
Blameless church member
I've had it as my home
says
screen.
here today on the 2nd of the 20 of
So we do have
2026
this on video.
that he's going to make 40,000 by the end of this year, and he's gonna take us out to eat.
I'll come up to the camera.
This is the second.
Since January 18th, 2026.
This is January 20. February.
I've had this in my notes
It's
since
February-
January 18th, 2026.
It's February 2026. Steve said he promised that he's gonna make 40,000 by the end of this year.
I didn't say 40.
You said 40.
I said I'm shooting
You
for the
said
40 plus.
40,000. No. You said 40 plus.
He said
Yeah, I
he's shooting
said
for
plus.
40.
40 plus by the end of this year, and he'll be taking us out. And if he doesn't, we all get to throw flour on him, mustard.
I don't need any praise. I just want to let you guys know that I did it.
I just want to say that that I'm buying off the menu everything from this guy.
Okay, next slide.
And
slide,
if he
bro.
doesn't-
Next slide, bro. Next
If
slide.
he doesn't, then he's gonna know what's gonna happen. So
You're not gonna finish all that food. Next slide.
Important balance point. In your teens and early 20s, learn discipline. In your late 20s and 30s, build assets. In your 40s, grow and protect wealth. Lord, we thank you, Lord, for bringing us here today for your service, Lord, to be able to continue our growth into being having stewardship in our financial lives, Lord. I ask that you will bless each and every one of us, Lord, with the understanding, Lord, and help us to prosper, Lord, and be financially literate, Lord. I ask that you will help us, Lord, to have good money habits, Lord, and to not be fools, Lord, and just store our money any chance we get, Lord. I ask that you will watch over us, Lord, as we go home today, Lord, and may you continue to keep your protection over us, Lord. May we all say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. May you guys go with peace and love and joy. Have a great night.